Hi, my name is Patanamon Thongtanunam from the University of Melbourne, and together with Ayushi from University of Groningen, we are the co-chairs of Shadow PC at MSR 2021. And this year is the very first year of MSR that has the Shadow PC programs. Shadow PC is the programs that allows the early career researchers of ECRs to gain the first-hand experience about the academic peer review process. This program will train the next generations of the PC members as well as expose ECRs to the review process of the technical track of MSR. And these programs will also provide a great opportunity for the ECRs to be embedded in the research community. And to do this, we first recruit our Shadow PC members. And in this program, we target PhD students, postdoc, new faculty members, and industry practitioners who never served as a PC member of the main track at any conference before. And then we publicize our program via various social network platforms such as the Facebook and Twitter and SE World mailing list. And we also reach out to various SE communities such as the SEY, the SE community for women, and SENF, which is the community for new faculty member and postdocs. We also try our best to contract through our personal contract to the underrepresented countries to make sure that everyone in the world can take this opportunity. And we open for self-nomination during the 1st of November until the 10th of December. And I think we did a pretty good job because we have received a total of 162 applications from a wide array of backgrounds from 36 countries around the world. And based on these applications, we then select 106 Shadow PC members. And our selections criteria are based on the research experience. And we also look through at their motivation why they want to join this program. And in the same time, we do our best to ensure the diversity of the Shadow PC members. And from these 106 Shadow PC members, they are from 32 countries around the world. And about 30% of the Shadow PC members are female, and another 64% of the Shadow PC are the male, and another 6 is not preferred to disclose the gender. So I think we quite have a good proportion of gender here. And moreover, we also include many occupations as much as possible. So 75% of the Shadow PC member are PhD students, and the rest will be the postdoc researchers and faculty member or industry practitioners. And for the rest, the unselected applicants, we did not leave them alone. We try our best to still find an opportunity for them. So 13 applications were actually upgraded to the PC member of the main track of MSR. Moreover, we also keep the list of 48 applicants who already got the PhDs and are willing to serve as a PC member in the list, and we share these to many conference chairs. And if you are chairs of any tracks at any conference and you are looking for more PC members, feel free to contact me, and I'm very happy to share the list as well. And for the remaining applications, which is mostly about the PhD student, the young PhD student, we are very encourage them to reapply again for the next opportunity. And about the Shadow PC reviewing process, in this program, we use the actual papers that are submitted to the MSR main track as the paper for their exercise, but we use a separate hot CRP instance for the Shadow PC members to write the reviews and discussions. This to ensure that the review decisions of the actual track won't affect the review decision of the Shadow PCs. And in terms of the timeline, we first select the papers from the MSR main tracks who opt in the Shadow PC program. We receive a total of 59 full papers, and we select 40 of them based on the diversity of the topics. And then the Shadow PC members will join the hot CRP Shadow PC instance, and then they will do exactly the same as PC of the MSR main track. So they have to declare the conflict of interest and also bid the papers. And then Each PC member was assigned with a load of 2 papers per member, and they have about two weeks to review and provide a review for the paper. And after they submit the reviews, we have an advisor, which is an experienced researcher and experienced PC member, come and check the quality of reviews. And in the same timeline, Shadow PC has to discuss about other reviews and trying to reach the consensus and derive at the outcome. And eventually, once we get all the outcome for all 40 papers, we also share the review with the author of the papers as well as the outcome. And during the review process, we also try our best to provide support for the Shadow PC members. We provide some reviewing guidelines and some tips how to write and how to read the papers and how to write a good reviews. And we also have a Discord channel where the Shadow PC member can share the tips and tricks, and they also ask any questions about how to write the reviews. And we also have a very active discussion and communication via Discord during the process. And from the program, each paper will receive about 5 to 6 reviews, and we have a team of 26 advisors who will check each of the reviews, and Shadow PC member discuss. And from the log, we find that about 680 messages were discussed, and actually 400 of them are from the Shadow PC members. So it shows that it's very active here. The acceptance rate is very similar to the actual PC members. So 19 out of 40 papers were accepted by the Shadow PC. On the other hand, about 14 papers out of the same 40 are accepted by the MSR PCs. And if you look at closer into the consistency about the outcome for each paper, this table shows that the Shadow PC and MSR PC actually have very consistent outcome. So 12 papers are consistently accepted by both Shadow PC and MSR PC. Only 9 papers that had inconsistent review outcome. Next, Ayushi will share you about the feedback and reflections of our program.
Thank you, Peg, for presenting our vision and execution details of MSR 2021 Shadow PC program. Hello everyone, my name is Ayushi Rastogi. I'm an assistant professor at the University of Groningen, and together with Peg, I co-chaired the MSR 2021 Shadow PC program. To gauge the usefulness of the Shadow PC program, we conducted 2 surveys. We received 73 responses from Shadow PC members. 89% of the respondents believe that they now have a better understanding of the academic peer review process. 94% of the participants said that they have gained a new perspective of how actual PC members read and review manuscript. 83% of the respondents found the feedback from the advisors useful, and 98% of them mentioned that they will recommend Shadow PC program to others. We also received user stories expressing their experience. One of them mentioned that it was great to read feedback not only on their reviews, but also on other Shadow PC members' reviews. Another Shadow PC member mentioned that it was my first time seeing the work behind the scenes that goes into discussing papers and finalizing decisions. Yet, another one highlighted that there is not often an opportunity to learn to review, except if you are lucky and have a good supervisor and colleague during PhD studies. We are extremely pleased to be able to provide this opportunity to those who otherwise did not have access to it. And finally, it was satisfying to see that we could change the perspective of some early career researchers that PC is to accept papers instead of rejecting papers. We conducted another survey of authors who submitted their manuscripts for review by the Shadow PC members. Based on the 27 responses received from the authors, we found that 78% of the authors found Shadow PC reviews as clear and concise. 77% of the authors found the reviews constructive and useful that can improve the manuscript. 88% found the language and tone of the reviews appropriate, and overall, 82% of the authors were satisfied with the Shadow PC reviews. Quoting some of the user stories we received, one author mentioned that they were motivated to receive additional feedback and allow new community members to become acquainted with the inner workings of the conference. Another author was curious to see if both the PCs reached similar conclusion. We are happy to report that for 78% of the papers, both the PCs had same conclusion. One author mentioned that they used some reviews in the camera ready, and yet another author even went up to saying that they got better and more actionable feedback from the Shadow PC than the main PC. With enough being said about the Shadow PC members and authors' experiences, it's important to reflect on the benefits that Shadow PC program has to offer. For the software engineering community in general, this is our opportunity to make our community diverse and give opportunity to underrepresented groups. In the first edition of the MSR2021 Shadow PC program, 1/3 of our participants are female, and we have participation from 32 countries. From authors' perspective, now they have more feedback on their paper, and from the perspective of early career researchers, the Shadow PC program created opportunities to learn how to review, become a part of the community, and understand the process, which is helpful even for their own research. And it's not just us. 96% of the Shadow PC members and 82% of the authors recommend that MSR should hold the Shadow PC program again in the future. The discussion, however, will be incomplete without highlighting the hiccups and how we can do better in the future. As much as we defined a plan for the Shadow PC members, we did not define clear expectations from the advisors. As a result, some advisors joined early on, helping the Shadow PC members in every stage of review, while others joined at different stages. In future, we can set clear expectations on the role of advisors. Also, some advisors were assigned paper which they did not review in the MSR main PC track. As a result, their feedback on these papers were less detailed in comparison to the paper they had reviewed. This happened since we had no means to ensure that the selected papers are also the ones reviewed by the authors. In future, if more authors opt in for the Shadow PC program, this problem can be mitigated. In terms of timeline, we closely followed the timeline of MSR research track, but this also meant that the Shadow PC members had to wait longer to receive feedback and authors to receive Shadow PC reviews. We also received suggestions for the future Shadow PC program. One suggestion is to have rebuttal round, same as the main PC, although we are not sure as to what extent it is feasible since it can be additional work for authors and perhaps even a diversion. Other suggestions were to rank the reviewers as an incentive. We can have Distinguished Reviewer Award and or promote the best reviewers to the main PC in the following years. This journey also made us rethink the future of reviewing. Would it make sense to have all the papers reviewed by the Shadow PC? The experienced reviewers can then modify these reviews for the authors. This will help Shadow PC members who can see how to improve their reviews and can reduce the workload for the main PC. We convey our special thanks to Kelly and May, MSR PC co-chairs, who helped us shadow the MSR research track so that we can provide as close experience as possible. Also thanks to Sergey and Foots for identifying advisors for the Shadow PC members. Also, a huge thanks to our 23 advisors who helped us train the early career researchers in writing good reviews. And finally, a huge shout out for the 106 Shadow PC members. This program couldn't have been a success without you. So if you are organizing a conference or a workshop and are looking for reviewers, feel free to reach out to the newly minted reviewers. For your ease, there is a QR code on the side to access the list of reviewers. And with this, I sign off. Thank you everyone for listening. Have a nice day.